Our next guest, though, knows it's good news for another asset class, the rise of crypto. Mike Novogratz is founder and CEO of Galaxy Digital. They also had an IPO lately, Mike. It's good to see you again. I think, what was the high we hit on Bitcoin? Like 110? And it's odd how little attention that even gets anymore.
You know, Bitcoin's become a macro asset. And so one of the great things is most people have it on their screen next to gold and silver and the S&P. And, you know, I think back 10 years ago when people thought we were crazy. And now it's an institutionalized macro asset. And, you know, it goes from 110 to 107. That's 3%. That's within the realm of volatility. It's not newsworthy. Now, if you own a lot of Bitcoin, it is. But broadly, I think one of the great things is it's just become institutionalized.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Mike Novogratz says Bitcoin is now an institutionalized macro asset. He dives into why that matters. Let's hear him out.
Yeah, I do have one question about this. I thought Bitcoin looked absolutely stellar back during the early April Sell America kind of weak dollar trade. In fact, it might have sold off at the same time, but you know my point. Like, as we've seen a lot of diversification away from U.S. dollar, all these things, people are going into gold. They are going into Bitcoin. It's showing that it can be a stalwart in that sense. But the world is starting to get back, for better or worse, to a little bit of normal. Like, kind of, it feels like that whole period never happened.
You think so?
I wonder, right? But then you look at the dollar and you're like, maybe not. So I'd love for you to just kind of like break this down for us.
Listen, we are in a dollar bear market. For the last 15 years, American exceptionalism was the story. Europeans were wildly overweight and Asians wildly overweight the U.S. stock market. And we have a administration that wants a weaker dollar. They're pretty clear about it. You know, even in the way Trump negotiates, and you can argue if it's successful or not successful, but by telling Canada they want to be the 51st state and, you know, telling people that they come here to kiss his rear end, it doesn't engender people to say, oh, I want to buy more dollars. And so we're having people reweight their portfolios away from the dollar. You've got a time where we're talking about having a shadow Fed share, right? There's a lot of talk that the administration is going to pre-pick, in essence, Jay Powell's replacement and have him go side by side with Jay Powell. That's not good for the dollar, right? That's not institutional. And so I think one of the easier trades, and I think most macro funds are having a great year, is they're short the dollar. They're long the euro, they're long the yen, they're long Aussie, they're long a basket of currencies. Well, Bitcoin, you know, gold, silver, platinum, they all fall into that same category as something that's not the dollar.
The crypto market took a sharp dip today, dropping more than 4% to a total valuation of $3.24 trillion. The primary reason? Heightened geopolitical tensions after Israel launched a military operation inside Iranian airspace. This move has sent shockwaves through global financial markets, pushing investors to reduce their exposure to riskier assets like cryptocurrencies. The fear of an all-out war and the uncertainty surrounding possible retaliation from Iran have made traders nervous, triggering widespread sell-offs. Bitcoin briefly fell by 5.6%, hitting lows near $102,700 before bouncing back above $104,000. Ethereum slid even further, down 9.4% at one point to touch $2,400. Other major cryptocurrencies like Solana and XRP also suffered losses of 9.6% and 5.8% respectively. While crypto wasn't the only market affected, U.S. stock index futures also slipped. Safe haven assets like gold, oil, and bonds climbed, signaling a flight to safety. Adding to the pressure was a massive wave of crypto futures liquidations. Over $1.1 billion in long positions were wiped out, the biggest liquidation event since late February. This kind of forced selling tends to accelerate declines and shake investor confidence. Still, from a technical standpoint, the uptrend may not be over. The market structure suggests a bull flag pattern, hinting that the current drop could just be a correction before another leg up.
It's interesting because Bitcoin, they're theoretically going to mine 21 million of them, right, Mike? And in your company, Galaxy Digital, by the way, I think one thing people get wrong a lot on my side of the camera is that you're also a power company. You've got Helios out in Texas, going to grow that as well. It's part of the whole story. You got to make the power. Is there a bull case for not finding any more Bitcoin? I know it probably will be found, but if more of something is bad,
there's no more Bitcoin. Like what's unique about Bitcoin as an asset is it was created with 21 million coins total. Period. End of story. There'll never be more than that.
But not lots have been mined, is my point.
Most of them, lots of them have been lost. There have been more Bitcoin lost than will be mined for the rest of eternity. And so you've got this idea of a fixed supply of something. And more people are being brought into the Bitcoin tent. More and more people are realizing this is a story that they want to care about. And so once Larry Fink said BlackRock's getting behind this, right? All that pushing the snowball uphill, it started rolling downhill. And now we've got all these treasury companies buying Bitcoin. We've got sovereign wealths buying Bitcoin. We've got retail investors buying Bitcoin. There's easier ways to get it.
Our next guest, though, knows it's good news for another asset class, the rise of crypto. Mike Novogratz is founder and CEO of Galaxy Digital. They also had an IPO lately, Mike. It's good to see you again. I think, what was the high we hit on Bitcoin? Like 110? And it's odd how little attention that even gets anymore.
You know, Bitcoin's become a macro asset. And so one of the great things is most people have it on their screen next to gold and silver and the S&P. And you know, I think back 10 years ago when people thought we were crazy, and now it's an institutionalized macro asset. And
Michael Saylor, executive chairman and co-founder of Strategy, made waves online today with a sudden emotional tweet about Bitcoin's resilience. Just as Bitcoin began to recover from a recent 4.2% drop triggered by ongoing geopolitical tensions, Saylor broke his usual routine and posted a message earlier than expected. He shared a striking AI-generated image of himself standing in a desert, surrounded by cactuses, with one blooming right in front of him. The caption was simple but powerful: Bitcoin is hope. This unexpected post didn't just reflect Bitcoin's modest 1% bounce, it carried a deeper message. Saylor followed up by saying, if you have everything, you don't need Bitcoin, highlighting his belief that Bitcoin serves those who lack access to fair financial systems. For him, Bitcoin isn't just an asset, it's a lifeline, a symbol of opportunity in a world built on flawed fiat currencies. His company Strategy clearly shares this belief. It recently bought another $100 million worth of BTC, bringing its total holdings to about 582,000 coins worth over $61 billion. Strategy even launched STRD, its Bitcoin-backed shares, on Nasdaq this week. As markets wobble and uncertainty rises, Saylor's conviction remains rock solid. Bitcoin is more than money, it's a mission. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.